Good morning, children. Today we are going to study a very nice poem by Carl Sandburg. The name of the poem is Fog. It is in class 10th English and is poem number 9. In this poem, the ethereal, enigmatic nature of fog and its effect on the senses have been described by the poet. According to the poem, the onset of fog is linked to the appearance of a silky grey blanket that covers the city and muffles sounds to produce a sensation of calm and silence. The poem addresses the notion that fog has the power to change the familiar into the foreign and to hide the world's reality. The poem emphasizes how nature may change us and how it affects our senses and emotions. Fog is a very small poem composed by Carl Sandburg. He has described the process of arrival of the fog into a city and the harbor. He has very beautifully compared it to a cat. The poet says that the fog, which is generally seen during the winter season, is coming towards the city and the harbor just like a cat. This means that it is approaching the city in a very silent manner so that no one can notice its arrival. He has compared its arrival to that of a cat because a cat always enters a place silently. Next, the poet says that the fog has covered the whole of the city and harbor, and it appears as if it is sitting by folding its legs and looking around just the way a cat does when it sits on the haunches and looks around. At the end, he describes the departure of the fog, which very silently and unpredictably, again similar to the departure of the cat, vanishes. Now, the poem. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbor and city on silent haunches and then moves on. Fog. Please write the meanings of the difficult words. Fog, we already know, it is a thick cloud of tiny water droplets present in the atmosphere, especially in winter. Harbor means port. On haunches means sitting with knees bent. Now the explanation. The fog comes on little cat feet. The poet is describing fog. Fog is a thick cloud of tiny water droplets present in the atmosphere. It is generally seen during the winter season. Here, the poet describes the advancement of fog towards the city and the harbor. He says that the fog comes like a cat comes on its little feet. This means the fog advances towards the city very slowly and calmly, just like a cat. One never knows how and when the fog will enter the city. Therefore, fog is compared to the cat, which enters our home in an unpredictable manner. Next, the poet says that the fog sits over the whole of the city as a cat sits silently by folding her legs behind itself and looks around the nearby places and things. Similarly, it seems that fog silently covers the whole of the city and the harbor and is sitting over them looking around like a cat. After a while, the fog leaves the city and moves on. The poet says that so because it is a natural phenomenon that fog doesn't stay at a place for long and leaves the place after a few hours. So here also the poet says that just like a cat, the fog leaves the place very silently without being noticed by anyone. Now please note down the literary devices that have been used in the poem. In the line on little cat feet, there is metaphor. Why? Because there is indirect comparison. Fog has been indirectly compared to cat. Now rhyme scheme is about rhyme scheme. There is no rhyme scheme followed. Poem is in free verse. Then there is enjambment. I repeat, enjambment. ENJAMBMENT. When a sentence continues to next line, like it sits looking dash dash dash, then moves on. So this line contains enjambment. Then there is personification, because fog has been personified. The line fog comes, it sits has personification. So that's all from my side. Please note down the questions that you need to prepare. Does the poet actually say that the fog is like a cat? Find 3 things that tell us that the fog is like a cat. Then next question that is important is, does this poem have a rhyme scheme? Poetry that doesn't have a rhyme and obvious rhythm or rhyme is called free verse. So what do you think? Express your views. And how does the fog come? You have to express that. Then why does the poet think the fog is like? What does the poet think the fog is like? Please answer the question. So these are the important questions that you have to prepare for board examination. That's all from my side. Please like and subscribe my channel and share as much as you can with your friends, with your relatives, with your known people. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.